thank you to our sponsor, MBA Growth Partners.
Welcome to Studio 501c3. I'm your host, Kim Jones, the CEO of the Nonprofit Village. We increase the capacity and provide shared space for charitable organizations. So this show features nonprofit organizations that provide essential programs and services. They're charities the IRS designates as 501c3 because they provide a public benefit. And in most cases, your donations to these nonprofits are tax deductible. We are a proud partner of Montgomery Community Media, and MCM is your public access resource that provides a variety of information and programs relevant to Montgomery County. On today's episode, I'm talking to Jim Kelly, the president and CEO of the National Philharmonic. Since 1985, their mission has been to engage, inspire, and unite diverse communities across the metropolitan area through outstanding music performances and innovative education programs. The National Philharmonic resides at Strathmore Music Center. Jim, thanks for being on the show today.
Kim, thank you for having me.
Great. So let's talk about how the orchestra shares the power of music, particularly classical music, because you've been doing this since 1985 through a transition of, mergers and partnerships. So let's talk about that for a minute. Tell us about.
Sure. So the National Philharmonic was created through a merger of the National Chamber Orchestra and Masterworks Chorale around July 1st, 2003, which coincided with the development of the Strathmore Music Center. And when Strathmore Music Center came to life, National Philharmonic was born. So up until that point, we were a smaller chamber orchestra and separate chorale, and now united, we have performed between 14 and 16 concerts, different programs at the Strathmore Music Center since it had opened. So we focus on different genres of music, whether it be classical music or pops music or chorale music. Our intention is to provide music for the community in our DMV area.
Okay. And how do you determine what kind of musical performances are going to be presented to the community?
That is an excellent question. We review everything through a diversity, equity, inclusion, and access lens. And what that means for us in programming, our music director, Peter Gajewski, our chorale director, Stan Engelbretson, and our pops conductor, Luke Frazier, we all assembled to view programming for upcoming seasons. And we have minimum benchmarks of 40%, 45% musicians and guest artists and composers of color, and also a strong representation of women composers. So we really try to focus on local talent, whether it's talent within our orchestra and chorale, whether it's talent in soloists that we bring to the table. We like to feature local composers, women composers, and local guest artists.
And as a result of that, I know that you have a harmonic justice series, but I think that's a dialogue series. Am I correct?
You are absolutely correct.
Okay.
During the pandemic, we were looking for ways to engage with our patrons, and also with all of the social justice and unrest that happened last year with George Floyd. We really wanted to bring that conversation into the classical music world. And classical music for our industry really focused on European tradition and really was not very inclusive to other Alana or BIPOC musicians, and those are Black, Indigenous people of color. And so we really wanted to open a dialogue on what it means to present and our obligation and mission to present concerts in our community. How do we reflect our community on our stages? How do we present concerts that are lifting up other composers so that their music is being heard. And through this journey, our first harmonic justice was really, really instrumental in shaping what we are working on right now, which is a 5-year strategic plan, so that we can make sure that every aspect of our organization is viewed through that diversity, equity, inclusion, and access lens. We do two, they are located on Zoom, the harmonic justices, bring in different panelists that have expertise in different aspects of music, whether it's education, whether it's other performing ensembles, whether it is incorporating musicians from different parts of the country or parts of the world. And so these dialogues have been really, really helpful to gain perspective from communities that we have not heard from in a strong way in our classical music.
And it's very important. And it's also nice to know that the arts community, not just locally, but I've seen this around the country, the arts community has really moved and pushed the needle forward in terms of racial justice and social justice and incorporating that into performance. But I do want to move on before we go to a break. We're going to talk a little bit about the impact of what happens, and especially what happens with students. So I'll tell you, my son has now graduated college, but he started flute after attending one of the annual performance series for the second graders that is conducted every year. And I'm sure you hear this all the time, that, oh, my child attended, the annual performance that's done for free for second graders at Strathmore, and kids get into music. So we've only got about 30 seconds before the break, but do you hear that frequently?
Yes, that program is so a part of what we do and what makes us special. And it's a true collaboration with the Strathmore Music Center. But the ability to play for 17,000 second graders in Montgomery County is just amazing. And uninhibited joy.
We're gonna come back to that. I do need to take a quick break. And when we come back, let's talk a little bit more about that and the impact, as well as more about the powerful music programs of the Philharmonic. So Studio 501c3 on Montgomery Community Media. We'll be right back.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie. Nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
Welcome back to Studio 501c3, where we feature exceptional nonprofit programs in Montgomery County. I'm talking with Jim Kelly, the president and CEO of the National Philharmonic. And we were talking before the break, Jim, about the 17,000 kids that you impact every year. So tell us more about what happens because of that. I'm sure there are lots of budding musicians because of that partnership that you have with Strathmore.
Yes, with that partnership, our team, and I have to give a shout out to Vicki Gao, who is our educational conductor that week for the second grader concerts. She developed a curriculum with the director of education at Strathmore and Montgomery County Public Schools. So embedded in their curriculum for music are different initiatives and different topics in music, like layering music, different types of instruments in the instrument family. And that's so influential at the second grade level, when in a future third and fourth grade year, they will be picking out instruments potentially that they would like to enjoy to play. So it really, really is exciting when you hear the audience just scream and roar over different things we're doing on stage, and that impact is amazing.
Right.
Music transcends everything, and it will allow these kids a great opportunity in the future in whatever field that they decide to go into.
Well, like I said, my son ended up playing flute for about 6 years, and then when he went to high school, decided he wanted to switch to piano. And now that he's graduated college, he said, I think I may want to go back and take piano lessons again. I said, you can do that. You can, and now that you have a job, you can pay for it. But tell me a little bit more about some of the other organizations that you might partner with, also donors that help you sustain your programs.
So our donors are really important to sustainability of the organization, and really trying to make sure that we nurture and develop relationships with our donors and different programs that we have. For example, this past year, we developed the Lesson Bank, and we worked with a school in Montgomery County and also Prince George's County, where we did over 78 students got 780 hours of lessons for free from members of our orchestra. Wow. These were families that normally couldn't afford to bring music into their lives. And the outcome of that was having a really wonderful opportunity for our musicians to engage and share music. And when there is music sharing, every child they can do great things when they're given the opportunity to absorb and learn.
Yeah,
so
that's incredible.
Donors that support that. And a special shout out to James and Jill Lipton, who fund that program. We're so grateful to them.
And I'm sure as people view this, you do have a donate button on your website, and whether you're enjoying a performance online or in person, or learning from anything on your site or from programs that you do, I'm sure people will contribute. We've only got about a minute left. Tell me what is up for the future. What do you have a vision for? What do you want to move towards? In our last minute, tell us what we need to know for what's coming.
Well, with only a minute, I feel like it's a race against time to get this all in here. But really, we want to be supporting our community, bringing great music, bringing access to great artists, and sharing new music with our community. We want to make sure that our kids free program, ages 7 to 17, where kids can come free with an adult, thriving. And we can allow those free tickets and those initiatives to continue with support.
Great.
In addition to that, we really feel strongly about our retirement communities and making sure they have access to our programming, even during COVID. So we have virtual programming for our in-person concerts starting in October at the Strathmore Music Center.
And I think those programs virtually will be important for everyone. We're actually at the end of our time, Jim, but we've learned a lot about the community engagement, the education, and of course, the power of the actual music and the programs offered by the National Philharmonic. So I just want to thank you for being here and talking with me today.
Thank you for the opportunity. Music is essential for life, in my opinion. And,
it is. I agree. You can learn more about the National Philharmonic, their music, performances, and how to support them by visiting the website at nationalphilharmonic.org. I'm Kim Jones. Thanks for watching today, and we'll see you on the next edition of Studio 501c3.